This is Renewing the Man. Clarity under pressure. The weekly call to bring clarity to your situation.
Stopping place.
Yeah, nice. How you feeling, brother? You doing
I'm
good?
doing all right. Doing
Yeah.
good. Had a men's breakfast this morning with Rex. Got to meet some good old guys. So it's
Nice.
good.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. How's he doing with all this?
Rex is doing great.
Yeah.
He was a little mad on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, because that was the first day of the official nesting thing. Just more change, and he was mad with his mom.
Yeah.
And he but I mean, I've checked in with him several times throughout the week, and he's been doing pretty good. Doing a lot better. He's for a young
Awesome.
man. He's got strong faith. But yeah, Monday was a little tough, and but
Yeah.
every day
I get it, brother.
new challenge.
Nice. So, as promised, I got a little special surprise here for everybody. This is Greg Parker and Erica. They are they're a couple I've been coaching for a while now. Greg, I coached one-on-one a couple years ago, and we stayed in contact and continued some other coaching, and then continued more coaching. And I wanted, Andy and Nathan and Nick already knows Greg, I believe. I wanted Andy and Nathan for you guys to hear the story of what love should look like, what love could be and can be, because these two are freaking doing it on the level that I have never seen anything like it before. And the level that they're doing it at is so beautiful and wonderful. So I'm going to hand it over to Greg and Erica. Can you unmute there? There you go. Are you unmuted?
Hey.
There you go.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good seeing you, Nick.
Yeah, good to see you too, Greg.
And hey, Wally. Hi, nice to meet you
Hey.
guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
What do you want us to start with, Wally? Sorry, kind of missed the first minute or so there.
Do you want to share your story of
Yeah. So we'll give a quick overview. So met Wally after going through separation and divorce and having to do all the emotional work behind that to really dig in on what we called bullets, triggers, and really coming to find myself and become the man that I needed to be for my kids and my family.
Mm-hmm.
And through the process grew, healed like I've never done before. I mean, it literally, I've told this to other people when I'm talking about Wally. He literally saved my life. It's not something you can explain until you go through it. And a lot of times, as men, I mean, I grew up with a tough father, don't cry, be a tough man, men are men, we don't need therapy, et cetera, that type. And so, I mean, I fought it hard. And really, once you kind of dig in and learn just how much you have to heal, it really is truly amazing doing the work. It's a tough process. There's no doubt about that, but it's the most rewarding work you can do in your entire life, and the effects it has not only on you and your business, your friendships, your relationships, but most importantly, relationship with your children is unexplainable. I mean, the difference I see in my 3 daughters since doing the work is amazing. The best father I've ever been, best sort of friendships I've had, and being just my best self, happy, strong. That notion of, well, doing the work and crying and the emotions, that makes you weak. No, quite the opposite. It's strength. It takes strength to do that sort of work and be able to be vulnerable and it's okay, for the toughest guys even to cry and talk about their feelings and find out their downsides and weaknesses that they want to work on and improve. And it just makes you the most solid you've ever felt in your life. And because of that work, not only was I able to dramatically improve my relationship with my daughters, my friends, my business, I was then able to find love again and met the love of my life, Erica, and has had the best relationship I've ever had from the learning process of doing the work. Learning about relationships, learning about myself, learning about how women are and can be. No offense, love. uh, you learn how to have a healthy relationship, and it's the best relationship I've ever had by far. And I had mentioned this to Wally too, and I was like, it's really weird, Wally, because with Erica, we talk about our feelings all the time. Like, even if the tiniest little thing, maybe one of us says something that bothers someone in the wrong way, or there's something that maybe might be the slightest bit of an irritation to the other, we talk about it, and we have very civil conversations. We discuss our feelings. If either of us ever is upset, we talk and get to the root cause of the bottom, like what's really getting us right now. Let's dig in and discuss this and have basically like a mini therapy session together, and just brings us closer and closer every time. And it's just the easiest, best relationship I've ever had in my life. And I wouldn't be able to have this and be the man that I am without having done the work with Wally. And through that process, Erica learned a lot about what I did, and she kind of sat there and went, because she, by the way, is a psychology background, so she knows a lot about therapy and all that stuff. She's done it herself for a while and dramatically improved her life. But she's like, maybe there is some things I need to talk to Wally about. Let's schedule a session with Wally. And sure enough, Wally got her to pop, and lo and behold, she has more work that she wants to do, and she has just dramatically blossomed and changed. I was thinking about that this morning, babe, with our picture in our room that Erica made a canvas print of. It's a beautiful picture. But I was just sitting there laying in bed thinking about it, and I'm just sitting there going, like, she was amazing when I met her, fell in love right away, but she has just transformed into this butterfly, and her light is just shining so bright now. Right, baby?
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see what this sort of work can do in just dramatically improving your life, even if you don't think you need it. And that was Erica. She's like, I'm good. Psychology background, therapy. I know what I'm doing. I don't need anything.
I'm also a woman, so we always think that everything's good.
Yeah, so that's a quick recap on me, Erica.
Yeah, so kind of similar to
And Erica, if yeah, sorry, just I would love for you to share the what happened with Avery as well.
Yeah, so by doing work with Wally, so the same kind of similar background to Greg. He has 3 kids. I have 3 kids, so 6 kids total. So 5 girls in the house, which is a lot. You could only imagine the the bickering and fighting that should be happening, but doesn't really. But very similar background. I have obviously an ex-husband. So going through that transformation, trying to figure out how to co-parent with somebody is extremely hard who doesn't see eye to eye with you. So our daughters are seeing this, our children are seeing this, and like it's like a heaviness on their heart because they don't really know where they belong right now, in a sense. And so I was like, my oldest daughter, Avery, obviously her and I butted heads, and it was extremely hard, especially after she came back from dad's house. And so there was a lot of times where her and I were just butting heads so bad. Talked to Wally about it. And then he's like, okay, so they feel your energy. And I thought only I can feel my energy. So he suggested that I kind of calm myself down, walk away for a minute, calm myself down so they're not feeling that energy, and come back with like a peaceful mindset. And so there was an incident that occurred that I was extremely upset over. And so talk to Wally while she's in school, and I'm like, I don't really know how to handle this. Like, as a parent, I just want to discipline her, but as a mother, I want to understand like what was going through her head. So understanding like being able to sit down with her, Greg and I did. I had a one-on-one with her first. Greg and I had a two-on-one with her after that. um, Allowed her to express herself first instead of mom getting upset and saying, you. We sat her down and was like, okay, when this happened, let us know like what was going through your mind. How did this occur? What made you think that this was okay? And so get like allowing them to express themselves first and really get to the root cause. And it wound up, it was just a joke, mom. I didn't think it was that serious. And then explaining, okay, this is the severity of what could have happened, blah, 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 blah. And him and I were very calm. We allowed her to speak. We allowed her to express her own thoughts and feelings. And then we were able to understand, okay, literally, she's 10 years old. She thought it was a joke. Okay. But because we were so calm natured about it and loving, and we kept saying, nope, we get it. It's okay. Let's not do it again. But we love you as parents. That really opened her up. So she went from a child that, I don't even know how to explain it.
She's
Was very shut
transformed.
off.
Yeah.
Didn't want hugs. Didn't want any participation with the family. Always in her room. Don't come in my room. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't smile at me. To we're now seeing her blossoming into this beautiful young, still kid, but beautiful young kid that comes downstairs and participates in family stuff, snuggles me on the couch, someone who didn't even want to be touched or spoken to. And she's just, it's just like a transformation. She literally did a 180, shut off, didn't want love, to somebody who is laughing and joking and smiling and hugging. It's like, it makes me want to cry because it's mind blowing, the transformation that just keeping ourselves centered and our energy positive can do to just a child. And I'm
Right, like Erica, like also the share the emotional work that you did in order to realize yourself at the same age, right?
yeah,
How that seeing that 10-year-old that was feeling unsafe and scared, and then seeing Avery at the same age feeling the same thing that little 10-year-old Erica was feeling, and then once you were gone in and really healed that 10-year-old in you, you were
yeah,
able to recognize that your daughter is at the same age, and that was, I think that was the biggest shift, right? That was the biggest, like, because that was like a 24-hour 180-degree complete switcheroo
mhm,
of her behavior and her being combative with you and calling you names that her father, your ex, would be calling you and calling you the same things. And now you're like, wait a minute, I'm the one that's supposed to be creating the safety for her. And now you're able to create that safety for her because you were able to clear that out, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think that was the number one
Beautiful.
thing that brought me to that peace with her, was understanding like my biggest trauma at 10 years old. So 10-year-old Erica, she needs to be talked to the same way that Avery needs to be talked to. And so it's like, okay, would I have wanted that? Would I have wanted like an outburst from my parents? No. Um, so talking to her like I would talk to my 10-year-old self has definitely brought her into the safe space. So much to a point where she's fine. Dad didn't get them this weekend, and that's okay. She even said, that's okay, because I know I'm okay here. And that's one thing that I always have to like remember when I speak to my children, speak to them as 7-year-old Erica, 10-year-old Erica, 12-year-old Erica. And that definitely helps a lot. Oh, you're getting me choked up, Wally. Stop it.
Sorry, you know how I roll.
I know.
Yeah, but it's okay to feel that, right? And it's great for you to share as a woman, as a mother. For the men here that you have Nathan, who's a new father, and he's been married and going through separation with. Anyways, the 3 kids you have?
Yep, 3
Yeah,
kids,
and yeah, I
older.
mean 3 kids. Yeah, older and one off to college, right? And and Tyler, I see you're down there. You, if you're listening. Uh, anyway, so we'll continue, and if
Tyler's a friend
Tyler
of
hops
mine.
on.
Yeah,
Oh, he is, okay, great. All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
so so it's I think it's awesome to have the perspective as a parent, someone who went through a separation, went through insecurity of understanding her,
I'm here.
who she was, and how lost she felt, in that past relationship, or and going through this relationship with Greg, how your fear of the self sabotage, right?
Yes,
hmm
I did.
Yeah, we
So
we
it's
had and
you
we
know
had a
it's
session with Wally about that,
Mhm.
digging into Erica's fears, and ended up coming to an end with clarity and light, with
Mhm.
little Erica and little Greg connecting and feeling
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to that, I came into this relationship thinking I was good. I was solid. I walked away from a very terrible relationship that was not okay for me. After 16 years, mind you, 16 years, finally got the strength to leave, and had like literally got a psychology background. And that's what made me realize I'm not in a good situation. And then went through therapy, 3 different therapists, walked away. And I'm like, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man. And then I met Greg and I was like, yes, I'm solid. I'm firm. Like, I know who I am. And then like little things started triggering me later in our relationship. And literally one morning, I knew that his relationship with Wally, I literally called Wally up and said, I am spiraling. I do not know why,
Yeah.
but if I don't fix it, it's going to end the relationship entirely. And that hurts because it's the love of my life. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so that first session with Wally, like that got me. I was like, there's nothing I need to uncover.
I'm perfect.
I'm perfect. No, I'm not. I love you, Wally. But yes,
love you too.
we dug deep and found root causes and found things that I didn't even know was triggering me.
Uh-huh.
And those are like the things, and I know the word trigger is used so many times. That's triggering me. But understanding like one, and not just yourself, but also like your partner's triggers as well.
Mhm.
So like if Greg and I get in an argument, we don't even argue,
We disagree. Yeah.
we have to understand, okay, what is your side of, like, what did I say? What happened? What might have upset you or made you feel a certain way? And so not just understanding yourself, which you have to understand yourself first, but then understanding your partner's self and being self-aware and then partner aware, I guess.
Well, and
Yeah,
it's important for
but
the guys here too, and you can testify as a woman on the flip side is, if you can tell your partner is triggered or having some issues, and it maybe the topic is geared towards you, maybe she's acting out on something you said or did that there was the straw that broke the camel's back, and she's not really necessarily mad at you, and
Mhm.
it's not you that's bugging her, but there's something deeper. But until you dig in and have those conversations and ask those deeper open-ended questions, but do it from a safe, calm space
Mhm.
and a open communication,
and not around kids.
you're not going to get to the bottom of it. And and I've seen it in myself too, like, oh my God, old Greg would have taken what she just said and gone on the deep end, going the other direction, and it would have turned into a big ordeal, as opposed to what Erica and I will do is have some conversations and we'll be open and honest with each other. We'll call each other out on our bullshit. Excuse my language. but we'll dig in deep and we'll get to that root cause of the problem, like what's really going on. And the next thing you know, we're having a little connecting therapy session, going deeper and deeper into it, and then go, okay, this is what's really the root cause of your problem. And when I said this, or I took it this way and I reacted this way, that's from my fears or basis of what is bothering me. And here's my side of the story. Here's your side of the story. We see each other's sides. We get to the root cause of the problem. And the next thing you know, what could have easily turned into a huge, massive fight could have potentially ended a relationship over a light switch or something silly. And next thing you know, you're bonding and closer than ever, and you have a deeper understanding. And there's nothing that we're scared to talk about.
No.
But that's because we feel so safe with each other. There's not those walls up. There's not that fear of what is the other person going to do if I say this, or they react like this, or can I handle that? And that really comes down to doing the work, having the open communication, breaking down those walls, and really letting the light and the love come through. And we're all human. I mean, we all have bad days. We all get upset. And finding how your partner feels and communicates and reacts, and knowing how to handle it, and they know how you feel and react and how to handle you, just it makes for the best relationship you can possibly have. Yeah.
Erica, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, as Wally mentioned, my wife and I are separated, and she's doing what I would consider going to a traditional type therapy. And I've gone to it before too, and just like both you and Greg have attested to, I mean, what I've done with Wally is completely different and more impactful. I mean, I got more out of my first session with Wally than dozens and dozens and dozens of sessions. So I guess my question to you is, did you come into it? I mean, you mentioned it like you were spiraling, and where I'm going with this is I'd love to get my wife into this conversation, but I don't know how to invite her into it without pushing her away. I guess, what made you feel, what led you in that direction? That's because I want to stay married so bad.
Brother, feel it, man. Andy, it's okay. It's safe. Let it out. Let it up, man. Come on. You're safe, brother.
You got it, brother. You're safe. You're with people who love you and have been through it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do to hold on to it. And I know something like this for her could do it, but I don't know how to.
We'll get you there, brother.
Approach the subject.
We'll get you there, man. That's why I put this call together and got Erica and Greg on here, is to show you. I'll let Erica speak to that.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's why we're here, brother. Okay, we got you.
Yeah, and definitely giving you a huge hug right now, because we have been through that pain. We have been there where we tried so hard to make something work. And the love there, that's what we fight for. I think that the one thing I've learned in our journey is that we have to self heal. And so maybe the recognition, sorry guys, I'm bad with how to say words sometimes, is her
Same fire.
and you building your own light, right? And I think that's the number one thing, because like I said, I walked into this thing saying I'm healed. I don't need anybody. I don't need you. And then but then finding my self-love, my self-worth, and that allowed the love in. That's literally what that broke and cut that barrier with Greg and I need to find my light again. I need to focus on myself and not worrying about everybody else right now in this second, but myself first. And to your question of how do I get her to join? I think that by building that self-awareness, not self-love, she might or may not, I can't speak for her, but she should see that light and then fall in love with that light all over again. But I think it's the worry that tears us apart, right? What if she doesn't? What if she doesn't? And the tough realization is, Wally, I'm sorry to speak so harshly, is that she might not. And then being okay with that. And I know it's not okay. We've all been there. It's the toughest thing we will ever go through in our life. But knowing that either way, you will be okay.
And can I? That was beautifully said, babe. And
Well said, Erica. Thank
yeah, I feel you, brother.
I know my
I've been exactly where you are right now, and that's what made me come to Wally. Is I was fighting hard for my marriage too at the time, and I was deep in pain like you. Worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Man, that's giving me goosebumps thinking about it. I mean, I remember talking. I'm prior military, and some of my buddies are very salty Marines with 4 Navy crosses. They're crazy salty mother effers. But even they were like, Greg, I can't imagine this pain you're going through. And one of them went through a separation, then divorce about a year after me. And he goes, Greg, this is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I'd rather be back in combat right now than going through this. And I was like, I know, brother. I know. No one can tell you how much it hurts and how hard it is until you're in it. But the biggest thing is exactly what Erica said, and this is what I had to do, is you gotta do the work and bring out your light. Because if your wife is going to come back, and man, brother, I pray she does for you. I hope you guys come back together and have the best relationship you've ever had. But that's the only way it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it can lead the saying, God closes a door to open a window or open another door is true. Because I mean, back when I was doing that, I was like, I don't see how I'll ever be happy again if I'm not back with her. I'll never find love again. I'll never find a relationship that's amazing. I'll never get married ever again. I mean, I said that for a couple of years. And then because of the work I did, I'm happier than I've ever been. And I found the love of my life with the best relationship I've ever had. And it's changed my life. I'm not saying I think that's the path you're going to go down, and I hope you and your wife can work it out. But that is the only way it's going to happen, is to do the work and bring out your light so she can fall in love with you again.
And Greg, also would love for you to speak to, when I was there in Texas and I met with, Christina and you and the girls, right?
Yeah.
And what happened? What did I say?
So yeah, I had to focus on myself and the girls particularly, because I have 3 daughters. Wally saw all the pain in their eyes, particularly the oldest, Maddie. And he's like, Greg, I'm going to go ahead and cuss again. Sorry, I'm a sailor. He's like, I'm not fucking around, Greg. She is going to kill herself if you don't get on top of this and fix it now. He goes, you got to make a priority of yourself and your kids. Don't think about past relationship. What's going to happen? Are you going to get divorced or not? Like, focus on your kids and family. And honestly, Wally too, what was really big for me in a release of finally truly letting go of Christina, that's my ex-wife, was he met with Christina and got to talk with her. He heard all about her through our sessions, obviously. And he really got to see in person, kind of where she was, who she is, what she's going through. And he told me, he was candid about her feelings and the guys that she was with, and just wants me to let her go. And after that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I got to let it go. I got to let it go.
Right.
And
And
because
everything
of that, Yeah.
Yeah, and just wanted to speak to, like, I saw, and when it happened, like, what, a year and a half after with Maddie, she became suicidal, right? And then there
Uh,
was two paths, right? There was the two paths with Christina, which was either she's going to recover or she's going to continue to go down the rabbit hole. And I said, what?
you think she's going to go down the rabbit hole, and that's exactly where she went. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I've been having to keep a close eye on the kids, be a solid dad. I have, well, it's an amicable co-parenting relationship, but there's no love there for sure. Aside from being the mother of my children. But yeah, I've handled her solidly since, and I really got to kind of truly see my relationship for what it was, because I definitely had the love goggles on during the marriage. I didn't see any faults, any control, manipulation, or anything whatsoever. And now I just kind of see everything for how it was, and I don't regret any of it. I have my children, so I wouldn't change that for the world. Just like Erica went through absolute hell with her ex, she wouldn't change anything either, because it made her the person that she is. She has her beautiful babies. I get to be a stepfather, bonus dad to those babies. She gets to be a bonus mom to my babies. And because of that, us doing the work, we wouldn't have the relationship that we have without going through that, and we wouldn't have found each other without going through that.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what's in store for you, but doing the work and being solid is the only positive outcome, because otherwise you will go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. I just want to do a quick point out though. For me, and 16 years of not a great relationship, not a whole lot of love or anything. It just we were just kind of there, almost like roommates, if you will, just parenting roommates. But what I had to focus on when I did leave am am I losing myself by staying with this person, or am I gaining myself with staying with this person? Because I couldn't even see a future. I'm like, man, if I stay in this situation just so that my kids can stay in a home, both their parents there in the same household, what am I teaching my children? Am I teaching them that this relationship to be in, dad screaming at me all the time, mom doing this, and they're just fighting constantly? Is that teaching my children that that's an okay relationship, and then they're going to follow that same pattern? Or am I going to teach them by walking away and finding my own self and my own light, that that's better than staying in a tough relationship? And that's what I had to realize. Like, if I stay, and it was that was the biggest decision I've ever made of my life. Also a tough one, obviously, is that I decided to walk away and teach my daughters, like, it's not okay. And also teach my son it's not okay. Be a better person than what I was and what dad was when we were together. And then also, Wally knows this. My son is 15, so he wanted to stay with dad. It was a mutual decision. He stayed with dad. I took the girls. And unfortunately, I don't have a relationship with him at the moment. So if there is a divorce, or if they all are going through something, always remember to stay solid and grounded and not lash out at the other person, even though that they're probably doing the same thing. Because me and Wally are doing the work now, trying to build that relationship back up. So just like, and the biggest takeaway from Wally is I can't be the best person and the best mom without knowing my light and what I'm worth. And so it all is like back to the same cycle with your kids, with your wife, with your ex-spouse, whatever it is. You have to know your person first and see your light and know your value, and be okay with the past. Be okay with it. Sit in it, feel it, cry. I'm a crier. I cry over everything. I cry when I'm mad, when I'm angry, when I'm sad, when I'm happy. I'm the biggest
You just
crier.
a big crier, baby.
I'm
I
just a
love
big
you.
crybaby.
Yeah.
But I'm also a woman, so and so I feel those things. But with Wally, I'm like, no, I'm not crying. I'm not. Don't look at me. I'm not crying. But like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to let those emotions out. And I can't say I understand y'all's men's side because I'm not a man. I'm sure y'all are all tough and stuff, and like crying seems like that's so I can't. But letting those emotions out, and Wally kept trying to break me. And it's like, I'm tough, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need to. And then one night, I think it was, what was it, last weekend or the weekend before, when I just,
Oh, yeah, she ended up having her own little unplanned session where we're watching we won't go into the great details, but we're watching some videos that ended up triggering a memory for her, and through that she went through a deep release where she's bent over, sobbing, crying, sitting up, struggling to breathe. I thought she was going to pass out, and I was right there with her, you know, side by side, like, keep going, baby, let it all out, great job. And she it was truly a transformation session that you had on your own. And that's the kind of stuff you need to do, like I've done with Wally. And I talked to Wally about it. We I'm blanking on the word now, but we went over everything with Wally. And I was like, Wally, you remember that one particular session where basically I had created this alter ego to protect me, and we ended up having to mentally kind of kill him off. And Wally was so deep on it with me. He's like, Greg, at the end of it, he goes, it sounded like a beast that I've never heard being strangled and killed off. Like the sounds that came out of you, or holy cow. And I go, Wally, that's how intense her session was. And he's like, wow, powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
But
you know?
Yeah. But it's really
Well,
important.
and what happened? And what happened the next day with the kids? And like, what happened, which was beautiful
Yeah. No, they
because
all
of that
came.
shift, right?
It was the best weekend that we've ever had, because the kids felt the energy. And actually the kids couldn't sleep that night. We didn't even know this. They were like, man, something woke me up. It was 1 a.m. It was 3 a.m. It was 5 a.m. And we couldn't sleep. And so it's like, oh man, like did they feel that energy being released from me? And so we started talking about it, but then all of a sudden, all of our kids combined are just having the time of their lives, loving on us and appreciating everything. We go out and got crawfish with them. They had the time of their life, dancing with the band, like just like unlike anything we've ever seen before. And so like that negative energy that was released out of me through that session just completely transformed not only me, but the energy surrounding me, to allow our kids to come and love and be who they truly are. And so I text Wally a video, like, look at our babies.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was amazing.
Erica, I love you so much. And my kids were like, Greg, I love you so much. I'm like, I'm crying because I'm so happy. They're so beautiful. So it's very important. Just release it and just let it out.
Andy, does this resonate with you about, like, you know, what the work does? I mean, you know, like, you, when you started working with me too, right? You said you never cried the way you cried like that, right? You never went through such a deep emotion the way you did, right? And that was beautiful. And the emotion that you were able to let out on all the sessions. And sometimes I'm like, is he gonna pop? Is he gonna pop? And then you pop, and you pop on things that are so connected to you, especially the last one with Rex, and how Rex kind of reminded you, I think, of yourself at that age, right? And wanting to keep him safe
Yeah.
from what you're going through. And why, why this, why the, I'll speak to the one-on-one, why the one-on-one, and the consistency of, getting you out of that danger zone, right? Because you're still in this dangerous area where if you stop and you don't continue to heal this part of you and shine that light, because you're being attacked by everybody around her. Everybody's like, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. Your job now is to be your light, be your truth, shine your fucking light. Sorry for the language. Shine your fucking light, and let them fucking say whatever they're gonna say. Let them do whatever they're gonna do, but they can't hurt you. They can't touch your light, because why? You are the owner of your own light. You're the one in power, and I seen that even with what Nick told me about your call with him the other day, of how you felt attacked, but how you stood in that moment, and you shut up and you listened, and you didn't take it personally. Yes, it stung. Yes, it hurt. But that was the man carrying the hurt little boy, the wounded little boy that was hurting. In that moment, you were able to stand in the fire and hear her for the first time. And I'm sure in her head, she's like, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he responding like he normally does? Why is he not getting defensive? Why is he not justifying? He's just being present and holding space for me. Holy shit. That's huge. Would you have been able to do that 2 months ago, right?
No, I mean, it definitely would have been trying to defend my position for sure. And Greg, just so you know, when I snickered earlier, my wife's name is Christine. So when you said Christina, I was like, I just started laughing. I was like, oh, here we go.
Small world, brother.
No, you're exactly right. But you know, kind of the scary, I guess a part of me that it scares me, and I know I've got to get over it myself, is I feel like my wife is kind of going a route kind of that Erica is talking about, from a standpoint of, you know, she's finding her own strength and finding her own person and finding herself, and I'm scared I'm not in it. I'm scared I'm not in that picture, and it that's what, you know, continues to hit with me, is, you know, that she might have a future that doesn't include me in it, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I went through it too, right?
Erica has
Go ahead.
women's
No,
point.
it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, have you asked her? Have y'all sat down and had that talk and know what each other's future does look like?
I mean, she told my son, because we officially entered a consent agreement, and it started on Monday, and my son just flat asked her. He was like, you know, look, Mom, because I was at my parents', the way it's working is the kids are staying at the residence and we're bouncing in and out. And so my son, he's 13. My other kids are, like I said, 18 and 17. So they're a bit older, but he flat asked her, he's like, Mom, are you getting divorced? And she, man, this is from him, but she said, no, absolutely not. We're not getting divorced. But from my perspective, and she's asked me, she's like, are you done? And I'm like, absolutely, I'm not done. But the actions, what's tough is the actions. You know, it's there's no movement towards reconciliation. It's just more space and more space and more space. So to answer your question, is like, but to your point, like, there's been no definitive I'm done from her. And that's a tough place for me to be, because it's like, it'd be easier to be all in to fix or all in to let it go. This, from her point of view, where she says I'm on yellow, it's tough for me, because I'm a type A fix it kind of person.
Yeah. I feel like we have all been there. And I think that's we're so uncomfortable because we don't know what's about to happen. We have no idea. We cannot literally control that situation anymore. And that's the scariest and most vulnerable place to be. But what I've also learned is be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Focus on yourself in this moment. I feel like, so when I left my ex-husband, I mean, there was, I was shocked. There was no love being given in that household other than towards our kids. Uh, I was sleeping on the couch. He was in the like we weren't even sleeping together in the same room anymore for years. And so when I decided to leave, it was insane because as a woman, I'm looking at him, and he's obviously he's all of a sudden trying to fight for my love back. I need you. You're the love of my life. I want you back. Please don't go. Doing all these things, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Stop. Like, please just let me be and let me breathe and let me live for a minute, and then we can see where this goes. Obviously, it led to us not getting back together, but his anger was so hard that I was like, I literally told my mom, if I don't answer the phone tomorrow, it's because he probably came and broke in my house and murdered me. That's how insane it got. So if he would have just probably backed off a little bit and not been so aggressive, I'm not saying that you're being aggressive in any sort of means, but he was so fearful because he didn't know, and his reaction to the unknown, because he's used to me just going back to him, following in the same routine, that he lost himself. He wound up in jail, all these charges against him, like it was insane. So I get that the uncomfortable and the unknown is so hard to deal with sometimes, but letting that soak in and letting those, like, understanding where you are, you know where you are, you don't know where she is, but even like coming down, like ask her for like, hey, can we go get some coffee and just discuss things and try and get on each other's level and understand, okay, this is why I needed a separation from you for a minute. This is why you need a separation from me for a minute. Okay, now that we understand each other, can we sit down and try and work this out again? But you have to be comfortable with yourself first so that you don't get triggered if she says no, so that you are okay if she says no. And then you might even find that maybe you find your light and you're like, hey, maybe I wasn't even comfortable with our situation either. But the unknown is the unknown, but it's going to lead you to where you need to be by finding your light and give you gratitude and, new insights. And hopefully y'all come back together though.
And I think there's a mass. I mean, for me, I know Andy, you have a lot of wins here because she's mentioned 3 times that I remember, asking if you're done, and her saying she's not done, and that's why the focus, is saying, like, even the message I said to you yesterday, if you're going to bring her into the conversation, you don't do it by force, you don't do it by suggestion, you just do it by sharing your story, what you're doing to work on you to change and shift. That's what I said to you yesterday. And then I was like, at the same time, remember, this is her journey, her path. She's gonna do whatever she's gonna do. You can't control that, right? So, but it's up for you to show up in your power, in your light, to deal with your emotions and get to the bottom of all this, so you can stand as a man that she can look at you energetically, safety. Like Eric was talking about that earlier, like that energetic. That you know how when I connect with you emotionally, Greg knows this, Erica knows this. I tap into them. Uh, Nathan knows it. Nick knows it. I tap into your body, and I can feel the pain. Right, that's the same thing that your wife is feeling, that same energy. If you're carrying a negative energy, that's why I say to men, before you get into the house from the work, deal with your shit before you bring it into the house, because what, you're the leader of the house, you're leading with your energy. So we got to work on that energy that the lawyers, her mother, her father, her can say all these things, and she's like, but he's not all those things, and she's going to start seeing that. But that only comes through you going a little bit deeper, going a little bit further, and getting a little bit more clearer, and being in your power, right? So, like, imagine you have that conversation with her, but then you have this emotion of tears come up. Yes, it's okay to share that with her and show sadness, but it might turn into you begging or her looking at it as manipulation. So that's what we have to get you into a place of solid, light, truth, power and your strength as a man and the man that you know you are to be, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that was beautiful, Wally.
Thank you. Nick, Nathan, anything you wanted to add or share or anything? Randy, if you have something that you want to share with us as well that you got from this as well.
No, that's very helpful. I mean, it's because and I haven't, thank goodness I ran into Wally, because the default, of course, is to chase and try and do big gestures and all that kind of stuff. And I've held back from doing that. And like Wally had alluded to earlier, I mean, we did sit down last weekend, and she let me have it. But I was in a place I could just take it. I mean, there were a couple times I could have broken down, and I did get a little choked up, but I didn't just like let it all out or anything like that. I mean, I just took a pause, took a deep breath. But like I said, I mean, my normal place would have been to fight, and try and justify and not just let it all out. And she's told me she doesn't like to talk with me because I am good with my words. That's what she said. I mean, which I don't find myself being a wordsmith by any stretch of the imagination. But so, I mean, long story short, I mean, I was able to hold that space. But yeah, when I talked to Nick, my heart was broken, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm who she thinks I am, that's horrible. Like, if that's who I am, and I'm sure there's some truth in what she's saying, but at the end of the day, this is one person out of 100 people that, I probably interact with in my life all the time, and none of them see me in the same light. My children don't see me in that light. So I've got to understand, getting my worth not just from her, but getting it from a higher power is the most important thing. So anyway, I think I'm going in circles with it, but like I said, my heart breaks, because if I've made her feel that horrible, I never in a million years would want that, because I do care about her for more than just being the mother of my children. And but long story short, y'all have been through it. It's a very confusing time. I feel like that, you take 2 steps forward, and then the enemy comes and makes you take 3 steps back. And it's just finding that light, like you alluded to over and over, is being able to stay in it and live in it. But God's putting people in my path. I mean, I had a tough one this morning. I was at a little men's group, and there was a guy, he's really, I think he's pretty well in tune with God, and he just looked me dead in my eyes, and he goes, I feel like you've got something going on. And I mean, I was just holding it back because my son's sitting right next to me. I'm like, and
Yeah.
But all that to say, God's putting people in my life to help me walk down this road and hold that strength. So
Yeah.
I know that kind of was a meandering response, but
No,
it's perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I was gonna say, well, everyone, it's pretty cool to hear how it keeps going back to that ownership of ourselves, and just taking that, doing the work we describe it as. And I mean, it seems like it's not circles, man. It's just the radar is pinpointing right back to you, and not being unshakable and being solid and being healed and removing any kind of triggers, man. I mean, like my situation, right, of course, is I'm married. We're having our 3rd anniversary in July here, so it's still very new. But we look at each other and we're like, it feels like it's been 7 years or like 10, and this just, as I go, if coming back to ownership, like, here's a real micro example. I know we got lots of stories, but mine's small. Like last night, we're having some wine on the deck, Okay, I just come back from coaching some soccer, and I'm happy. I love soccer. I'm happy and positive, and sometimes when when the wine comes in, people end up being a little more loose and whatnot, and I, because of our past experiences with it, I felt I was like, oh man, is she gonna talk the same? Is she gonna like do different things? And then I kind of caught myself in the moment from coming back. I was like, wait a minute, you're looking at her and saying, okay, she's gonna be an act as she is, and then you're gonna feed into it. I can feel myself going away from staying solid, and then I literally in my head I looked at her as like, be there for her, be listen to what she has. Don't just be like, like, be in it. Show her that you're there and solid for her.
Yeah.
Because really, if she needs to just let loose, she's mothering a 1.5-year-old. She's finally just relaxing on the deck with you, and you're gonna get triggered from something that was like a couple of times it wasn't cool. But I just from doing that, it's owning myself, and I was like, no, this is who I want to be, as a safe space, and it totally shifted in a moment from where it was feeding into me feeling like a little bit resenting to like, no, like maybe you're not showing up here for her and actually helping her feel like everything's cool, and she's continually feeding off you, being like like resenting, and that's what I was doing. And so it just being that ownership back, whether it's Andy, you or Greg, and forget your name, sorry,
Erica.
Erica, yeah, or any of us. So it's cool it's encouraging to kind of center back to the main theme here, and it's encouraging, Erica, to hear from a lady's perspective too. Is it comes into that ownership, and then how to get there again, and it's tough when a lot of external circumstances are going on in whatever way they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, this seems to be a recurring theme here.
Yeah, well said, Nathan. And go ahead, Erica. Sorry.
I think it's really cool too to see it from a male's perspective as well, right? Because I do hear all of y'all saying, I need to do more. I need to listen more. I need to be more proactive. I need to be more intuitive. But I want to make this very loud and very clear. They also need to do the same thing to y'all. They also need to listen. They also need to listen to understand, listen to feel, listen to understand what y'all are also going through, because y'all aren't just men. Y'all are individuals who have feelings and have emotions and have truth and honesty and y'all's own perspective. So it has to be on both sides of the fence. Both of y'all need to be making the same exact effort. Y'all might be men, y'all might be the leaders of the household, but y'all are still people, and we still have, like, if Greg has input, trust me, he's going to give me his input. and I need to listen to it. And that's the only way that it works and can work, is when we come together as husband and wife, or girlfriend and boyfriend, or whatever y'all situations are, is that y'all can sit, and I love the work that y'all are putting in, but it really needs to be, and I hate the 50-50. I hate that aspect of it. Some days y'all just got off work doing whatever y'all do. I'm sure it's hard work. And y'all are exhausted. And so one thing that Greg and I do, like, he can tell when I'm at my 20% and he has to pick up the 80%, or when he's at 70% and I'm at 30%, or he's at 10% and I got to pick up the 90%. It's just being able to understand one another so well that I'm like, okay, babe, okay, you go relax on the couch. I'll make dinner. Or he does sometimes too. Babe, I'll make dinner. I'll do the dishes. Don't worry about it. Go relax. So it's really like understanding one another in such a deeper level. And I don't ever want someone to say, I'm trying, I'm listening, but then she's not listening. Right? So always keep that in your forethought, that like when you find that person, or if you're with that person, they need to be able to listen to you back and understand y'all as well.
You know that by the way, that was very encouraging because you know
Yeah.
I'm as green as can be myself, and at the same time, you know, I imagine many men it's experienced. You know, sometimes we're pushing so hard, and we're like, heck, this just a bit of mercy here. Does she actually see what you just said? And that was like when you were speaking, like it actually got me a little emotional too. I was just like,
Yeah, I started crying too.
wow, there's a lady who can see this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's beautiful, and you know, because in sometimes a man feels like how do you get
Unseen.
her
Unseen.
to
Yeah.
see and to
Yeah.
see it clearly, and you know, like, and yeah, we soldier on and we go forward and not soldier on. The difference now, though, being here is now it's like we take ownership of being where that our goal is to be just that safe space where he can do whatever and it doesn't change how
Mhm.
I am, and in it anything, and that's the goal. And then at the same time, it's like, you know, when you are using your heart and you're putting it in, and hearing that, you know, like I know women are beautifully emotionally giving and loving, and all of that is there. It's when it's not working together that you're like, can you just see how I'm just even what I just did to try and make it better, you know? And so that was encouraging. I just want to say that to you. Thank you.
Well, and also,
Beautiful.
Nathan, to your point, you know what y'all are doing and what we've done do and keep doing is courageous, and like to soldier on. Like basically, what you're doing right now, this sort of work, it's going from being a basic warrior to elite special forces. This takes real courage and real strength and determination to do. And when you come on the other side, however it works out, you will be so thankful and proud that you did it, and so powerful in who you are, and that light will be shining bright. It will be the best life you can possibly have, whatever that outcome is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
I'll add to that too. Beautiful, well said. I'll add that to as well. If I didn't go through my divorce and live the same pain and the same experience that Greg and Nick and Andy that you're currently going through, I wouldn't be a coach. I would
Mhm.
not be. Fuck, I'm gonna start crying. I would not be who I am for all of you, because of the pain I had to go through to get here. And it sucked, it hurt, and yeah, in some ways it still hurts, but at the same time, I am so blessed. I am so happy. I'm so grateful that I can have the ability to reach into a man or to a woman emotionally, energetically, and to watch them fucking go through hell and fire on and hell on earth, and come
Mhm.
out of it the other side walking into God's arms and lifted, and their spirits lifted and smiling and encouraged and confident, and this weight coming off of them. Yeah, it sucked, but I wouldn't change that for the world today, because of who I am and who I am able to be, not just for myself, for my kids, and for all of you. Shit, I got that made me so. Erica, it's your
it.
fault.
You made Wally cry, babe. Yay!
I got you
But
this time. Yes.
I think each one of us, you know, like just with our own healings that have happened in each moment. I mean, we call it sessions, but each bit of time we've put into ourselves
Mhm.
in this, like, and Wally, like, yeah, like, you know, it's the respect of and just the knowing. Like, no one knows till they go through it, as we know. Like you said at the beginning of the call, Greg, is like you just don't know until you do it, man. Like, and I've got people in my life I've been sharing about this a bit, and now that I've even doing it, I see when they like kind of like, oh, yeah, go, and then they deflect, or they you know, like the avoidance is either known or even subconscious. However, being someone like we are here who have gone through it, and then Wally, like, you know, like your story is amazing, and you share it out of clarity and resolve, and that's another cool part is to be able to be your ability to be able to see another person's pain and ability to help them, not just tell them this is what it is, but actually help them walk through into the ownership, and that's so encouraging. And I think that's why each of us can identify with this. It just keeps, it comes back to the same direction, but this is, like you said, becoming a elite unit person, and that makes you create the elite unit of your family. And that's pretty. Wow, that came out over there. Yeah,
that's beautiful analogy.
Well,
Before go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke. I was like, it's finally nice to hear some y'alls being slung around with all these Canadians. So I was like, oh, you're filling my soul, y'all. Yes.
Well, okay, so this is a funny little thing with the kids. So Erica, on a few words, is as country as it gets. Babe, can you say fire for me?
Fire.
Fire.
That's straight out of the
What's the other word?
You love it.
What's the other word? What's the other word?
Dryer.
Oh, what's something y'all have a lot of in Texas? I know this is going to come out right. Some oil. Instead of oil, y'all got oil fields.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What is? I forget his
Andy.
name. Andy. I did want to point out something really quick though, about your strength. That I was trying to say and then kept getting sidetracked because I'm a woman and there was a squirrel. Your Wally. But your strength, when you were talking about, you just sat there and you listened and you didn't react. I have a huge, and that's something I can connect to as well, because I have the same trigger. If someone says something about my name that's untrue, my instant reaction is to fire back. So I'm going to be like, no, you're wrong. I'm right. Don't say that on my name. Don't slander my name. And that's something that Wally has taught me, is that, and I'm the one in the family. I'm that one in my family. You get what I'm saying? Like, if anybody messes with my kids, my family, anybody, I'm the first one to step up and fight back. So like, that's something that I've had to struggle with. And so since I left my ex, he would say something that would trigger me and I would just beat him into the ground with my words and my facts, everything. I would use my energy to try and save my name for somebody else's opinion. And so with doing the work with Wally, and actually this just happened, so I loved that you said that, is that my ex, he gets the kids or he doesn't. It's really, it's his world and we're just living in it. He's not there, right? For the way that I need him to be as a father, and it breaks my heart. And so I have done nothing but try and show him, you're not here. You're hurting them. When are you getting them? Stop doing this to them. You're hurting them. You're hurting me, blah, 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 blah. And Wally was like, stop out. You just let him. If you like, and that's one thing that I realized was, if he wanted to, he would. But I'm so trying to be protective over my children and not have them see the hurt that he's doing to them. And so last week, or I think it was on Thursday, it was yesterday, he texted and he put an A, B, and C. A, I'm not getting them for this. B, I'm not getting them because of that. C, I'm just not. And so I was like, okay. And I was angered. I was so mad. I was fuming. There was steam coming out of my ears. And I just liked it. And I shut the fuck up. Didn't say a word. An hour and a half later, he sends another text. Well, maybe I will. Because I didn't say anything back to him. I didn't say, no, you have to get them. No, you have to be present for this. No, you have to do this. I just let it be. And that was the most empowering moment that I think that I went through in this week, and that I've learned. I was like, oh, I don't have to say anything back. I literally don't. And that creates a safe space for my energy. I'm shaking because it just, but I need to be a safe space for my own energy. I need to protect my own peace and be a safe space for my children, and I know that I am. So there's literally nothing that he can do or say that's going to make me think I'm not a good mom, or Greg's not a good person, or we're not good together, and this isn't a safe space. I don't care. So I think that was really beautiful that you stood, like, you are hearing things negative about yourself, but if we feed that, it's like the one, Wally, I just posted this on Facebook. The whole, if there's a wolf chained up in the dark and there's a wolf chained up in the light, which one lives? The one that you feed. So I chose to not feed into the dark wolf in that moment, because I know if I feed into that, it's just going to be a circle of arguments, back and forth, finger pointing. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I think it's beautiful that you stood in your moment, you didn't respond, you didn't react, and you just let it be. So that's brave, and that's courageous, and that's strength right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta keep a promise and go cook breakfast, so I'll see you soon, eh? Thanks very
Thank
much.
you, Nathan. I appreciate it. See you
Guys are
later.
awesome.
See you, bud.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel, Andy? What's coming up for you?
No, I feel better now than at the beginning of the call. Like I said, I was kind of a little bit raw this morning.
Yeah.
Just it's been a tough week, just entering the whole nesting scenario.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm in my parents' house, which is a source of a lot for me. And it's just weird because I'm like, just even over the couple of days seeing them interact, I'm like, oh my God, they don't interact. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this. This is horrible. And, but it's just the things for me, it's like, it's picking my son up, not saying, buddy, let's go get in the truck. It's picking him up. It's just those little new things for me that are tough. And again, I just want to run to her and be like, please, we're destroying something so, that can be so good, but I know I can't. And I know if I do, it just pushes her farther away. But definitely, Eric, I'm so grateful for you being on the call. Greg, nothing against you. You're awesome too. But hearing a female perspective,
she's better.
That's one thing that's one thing that I, it's nice hearing. It's scary at the same time because hearing your perspective, I could hear her perspective. And so it's scary. But it is pleasant to hear, like, if potentially your ex-husband wouldn't have been so reactionary, you might have reacted in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And
bingo.
so thank God I'm not going, bonkers and, texting at all hours of the night. And granted, I've had some slip ups, nothing crazy, but I mean, like I shared with her because I had a spiritual moment where I was fervently praying. These guys have heard it, for wisdom. And God showed me Mark 10, and Mark 10, where it talks about when he's talking to the Pharisees and they asked about divorce, and he told them, what God has brought together, let no man take apart. And I felt in that moment I needed to share it, so I emailed it. Probably shouldn't have, but I mean, there's little stuff like that. But not a baby, please. I haven't had any of those, even though that's my instinct. It's been my instinct from as soon as she said I want to separate, is to run and charge after. So it's just nice having that perspective.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Andy, you want to connect tomorrow? We can have a conversation.
Okay.
About everything and how to move forward. Does that sound good to you? All right, perfect. We'll do that tomorrow. I want you to have it today because you have a lot of emotion. We all felt it, and you like, I know you for 2 months now. You're not bad. Your wife is just like, everybody's just feeding her shit, talking you, putting you down, right? And you're light, man. You're light. The light that I seen you, the light that I felt from you, that you bring into the sessions together when you're in motion, like you're a tough motherfucker. You're like, I'm, I was like, oh wow, when I first met you on the video call, I was like, oh damn, is he gonna get emotional? And then boom, you dropped in, and your
10 seconds
capability
in,
as
boom.
oh
Well,
god, yeah, the first. It's so powerful and it's so courageous of you, man. And I just want to say, I am so grateful for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so grateful for the
Thank you.
fact that you have the courage, the willingness to take the opportunity to step into your power, to see all your faults. You didn't know what you didn't know, and to rescue little Andy. So big
Yep.
Andy can show up. And that's a fucking win, brother.
Yep. Yep.
Okay? 12 o'clock tomorrow,
Absolutely.
6 a.m. your time?
That should work. Let me double check my schedule
Yeah.
as soon as we get off the call.
All right. All right. Perfect, brother. Listen, I want to hear your celebration. And we all want to celebrate you at the same time. Woo!
There you go. Woohoo! Nice.
Woo! Amazing. Eric and Greg, thank you so much for jumping on the call and sharing your story and continue
thank you.
being you guys, because wow, the love, I mean the relationship, like I said, and I say this, they made me cry the other day because to see this relationship that they have acquired with each other, the way they hold and presence in that container of love, and how they're all both shifting and changing, you know, it's so wow. It's like it makes me like, I don't want to say jealous, but in my next relationship, that's something that I want.
Yeah.
And if your wife, if we get you to that, when we get you to not if, when we get you to that point where you're in your power, where you can have that conversation, to invite her into this. And what we can do is we try to invite her into a conversation with Erica and Greg and you, and like, so it doesn't feel like a manipulation. It doesn't, just feels like more of a conversation. But it's not going to be immediate. It's not something we can just shotgun it. We have to get you ready and prepared. Okay?
Yeah.
But she's not done. You're not done. And she told you that. So we got to continue working on you and dealing with all the resentment, the anger, the frustration, the victim, the hurt, the wound, the not good enough. All those things that are filling up in you and coming at you because our mind is doing 70,000, 100,000 thoughts. Stick to your terms, because your terms that you wrote out, and you lived 3 of those terms last week. You lived 3 of them, man. Huge wins. So celebrate those. Celebrate Andy today, okay?
Yep.
All
Right,
right,
to go to
ready?
the gym working on carrying little Andy. So
There you go.
Woo. Perfect. There we go,
all right,
brother.
guys.
Love it.
Thank
Talk to you
you.
tomorrow or later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.